Hey guys, good evening. I'm Tasya. Now I'm gonna share something to you guys about lessons about money that I learned from this fantastic book by Morgan Housel called The Psychology of Money. So without further ado, let's start. We're going to do this into three parts. So I'm gonna share the three most important lessons that I got from the book, and they are first, attitude towards money, second, save as much as you can, and third, use money to buy freedom. Let's move into the first one, shall we? So, the first lessons that I got from the book was everyone has different attitude towards money. And because the way that those attitudes affect the way they earn and spend their money. So, we shouldn't be too quick to judge people based on what they do with their own money. And have you heard the story about Ronald Reeves, the janitor that had $8 million when he died in 2014? Yes, you heard that right. Janitors, $8 million. And he didn't win the lottery or inherit the money either. He just saved consistently throughout his life while letting the wonders of compounding do its thing. And another example that Morgan uses in the book is Warren Buffett, who is famously very rich, and at the time the book was written, Warren Buffett's net worth was around $840 billion. The book shows that 99.9% of Warren Buffett's wealth came as a result of compounding because he started early and he just did it absolutely for ages. And fun fact, he's starting investing at the age of 10. Like, what were we doing again at 10? As Morgan Housel puts it, financial success is not hard science. It's a soft skill where you behave is more important than you know. And let's continue to our second lessons. Second lesson is to try save as much as you can, even when you don't have a specific reason to save. Morgan writes that building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns, and lots to do with your savings rate. So we naturally think that saving is basically income minus expense. But Morgan says that the other way of thinking about it is that savings equals income minus ego. And this is quite interesting, I think. It's an interesting way of looking at our expenses. Like, if I look at my own spending, how much of that spending is necessarily, and how much of it based on ego? I don't know. Maybe you can decide. And he also talks about how really our saving rates is the only variable in this equation that we can absolutely control. How much money, what percentages of my income I'm saving, it's something that I can control. So if you have a very high saving rates and you can keep your own personal expense very low, like you need very little money to survive, then it actually gives you a lot more freedom in life. And that will be our discussion for the third lessons. Third lessons is to use money to buy freedom. He talks about how really the true value of money is on flexibility and the optionality that it gives us, rather than the fact that it helps us to buy a fancy house or fancy car. So, for instance, there are a lot of people that are tied to the job that they don't enjoy because now they have lifestyles that require them to have a high income from the job. And what's the point of being miserable in your job for 80,000 hours in your life, kind of, for most of the time that you spend alive? And what's the point of being miserable in that for the sake of having a fancy cars or a fancy house? It's probably not worth the trade-off. So really, if we can just lower our personal expense and increase our personal savings rate, then we will have more freedom. Tons of studies have shown that your income has significant diminishing returns on your personal life satisfaction or happiness from life. And that beyond a point, more money stops buying you further increase in happiness. So ultimately, given that time is our most valuable non-renewable resources, we can always make more money, but we can never make more time, right? So using our own money to buy extra time, to buy our freedom, is very good use of that money, rather than spending it on a pointless luxury things that we don't actually. He writes that money's greatest intrinsic value, and this cannot be overstated, is its ability to give you control over your time. Using your money to buy time and option has a lifestyle benefits few luxury goods can compete with. So at the end of the day, we all just want to be happy and live a happy and meaningful life, don't we? And that's all from me. I hope you can find something useful from what I've shared. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.